Jason's love for gaming had always been a source of both joy and trouble. At first, his parents didn't mind. They figured it was just a hobby. But as the months went by, it became clear that gaming had become an obsession. He stayed up late, neglected homework, and barely spoke at the dinner table. His grades had slipped, and his teachers had even sent emails home expressing concern. Jason had promised to change. He swore he'd balance his time better. But promises were easy to make, and just as easy to break. That Friday night, he told himself he'd only play for an hour. After all, he had a big math test on Monday. But as soon as he booted up his favorite game and saw his friends online, all logic went out the window. "Yo, Jason, we need one more for the squad," his friend Chris said through the headset. Jason hesitated for a moment, glancing at the clock. 10:42 p.m. He could still get a full night's sleep if he logged off soon. "All right, but just a couple of rounds," Jason replied, knowing deep down that wasn't true. Time flew by. One match turned into 5. 5 turned into 10. The next time Jason checked the time, it was 2:30 a.m. His heart pounded, but instead of stopping, he convinced himself, "I've already messed up. What's a little more?" His body was exhausted, his eyes burned, and his fingers ached from hours of gameplay, but he ignored it all. He was completely locked in, unaware that his reckless choices were about to catch up with him. At 4 a.m., Jason's father, David, stirred awake. He had always been a light sleeper, and something felt off. As he got out of bed and made his way toward the kitchen for a glass of water, he noticed a faint glow coming from Jason's room. David's expression hardened. He had suspected that Jason was sneaking in extra gaming hours, but this was beyond what he had expected. He quietly stepped closer, pressing his ear to the door. Push mid, push mid." Jason's voice was urgent and excited. David sighed, rubbing his temples. This had gone on long enough. Without mocking, he pushed open the door. Jason froze, his heart stopping mid-beat. Slowly, he turned in his chair to see his father standing in the doorway. The look on David's face was unreadable, but Jason knew it wasn't good. "Jason," his father's voice was eerily calm. "What time is it?" Jason's throat went dry. His father already knew the answer, but Jason still felt the need to lie. I was just about to shut it down," he stammered. David stepped forward, eyeing the multiple empty soda cans, the crumpled snack wrappers, and the half-finished homework pushed aside on the desk. He reached down, pressed the power button, and shut off the PC. "No more excuses," he said firmly. "You've been warned too many times, Jason. This time, you're facing the consequences." Jason's stomach twisted into knots. "Dad, please." His father held up a hand, silencing him. "I want you to get up, turn around, and place your hands on the bed." Jason's face turned red with embarrassment. "But Dad..." "Do it. Now." Jason knew better than to argue. He slowly stood up, feeling a lump in his throat. His father walked to the closet and pulled out the wooden paddle, the same one that had been used sparingly but effectively in the past. Jason swallowed hard. It had been years since his last paddling, but he still remembered the sting. "You knew this was coming," his father said, standing beside him. "Now, hands on the bed." Jason clenched his fists, then leaned forward, gripping the blankets. His body tensed. The first swat came down hard. A sharp, stinging pain spread through his backside, making him gasp. The second one landed just as firmly, followed by a third. Jason squeezed his eyes shut, trying not to make a sound. By the fifth swat, his eyes burned, and he felt a lump form in his throat. He wasn't just hurting physically, the weight of his mistakes crashed down on him. Finally, his father set the paddle down. Jason exhaled shakily, wiping his eyes before they could betray him. David sat beside him, placing a hand on his shoulder. His voice was softer now. "I don't do this because I enjoy it, son. I do it because you need to learn discipline. You're smart, Jason, but you've been making bad choices." Jason nodded, his voice barely above a whisper. "I know, Dad, I'm sorry." His father sighed. "Sorry isn't enough. You need to prove it. Your computer is off limits for 2 weeks. No gaming, no excuses." Jason's heart sank. 2 weeks without gaming, that was a lifetime. But he knew better than to argue. The next morning, Jason woke up feeling groggy and sore. The consequences of his choices lingered, not just physically, but mentally. At school, he barely kept his eyes open. His math teacher noticed. "Rough night, Jason?" she asked. Jason simply nodded. "Something like that."